So first of all, thank you all so much for inviting us and taking the time to come. Sundays we generally like to relax, right? But for us devotees, this is relaxation, right? Hari Kirtan and hearing about Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So this is the first time, thanks to Prabhu, I have got the opportunity to speak about preaching, uh, how to become powerful preachers of Srila Prabhupada, right? To be able to do that, it's important to understand who is Srila Prabhupada. I usually give this example that if my mother, tells me, I have chosen a boy for you to get married, my first question will be, what is his name, his family, where does he live, how much does he earn, right? That's important, right? Especially for women, we want security. So to be able to have a connection with my future husband, I need some knowledge about him. Only then I can build a relationship. So similarly, if we want to understand Srila Prabhupada, then we need to read about him. I'm not sure how many of you have read the Leelamrita of Srila Prabhupada. It's nectarian. Right? It gives us the knowledge about Srila Prabhupada, that he was born in 1896, and his parents, Gaur Mohan De and Rajni De, they named him Abhay Charan De. Right? What did he do in his childhood? Usually nowadays, of course, children, they start screen time very young, right? Phones, iPads, that's the easy way to keep them occupied while we can do whatever we want to do. But he didn't have all that, and he didn't need it because his parents, especially his father, was a devotee of Radha Krishna. They had beautiful deities at home. So right from young age, he learned deity worship, and he was brought up in bhakti, in devotional life. And at a very young age, his father also helped him to build a cart to do Rath Yatra, maybe in their own neighborhood. So the idea to understand is his life. How was his life right from his childhood? His father wanted him to become a devotee of Radharani. A really big thing. When we have children, what we want them to be? Engineer, doctor. There's nothing wrong in that. But the idea comes that right from childhood, the child is brought up in the bhakti environment. In the Leelamrit, we read all the struggles that he went through, and that's why today we are sitting in ISKCON Cincinnati Center, yes? Had Prabhupada not taken all that trouble, going from shop to shop, trying to, first of all, translate all the books and then get them printed, right? He had no money and nobody to support him. All those struggles, when we read in Leelamrita, our struggles are nothing. Do you agree? We get a little headache and we get so upset. Oh, Asman took pada, I have such a severe headache, what to do? I can't even drink tea. Right? We have that notion, chai peene se sar dard hai. Says who? So he went through a lot of struggles so that we could comfortably sit here in Cincinnati and talk about Radha and Krishna. So he was born in 1896 to Gaur Mohan De and Rajni De. And as he grew up, of course, he was well educated. had a very nice business. And so happened that his friend asked him to come and hear one Guruji. Do you know whose name it is? Who's that Guruji? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada didn't really want to go, but he didn't want to displease his friend also. Do we do things that we don't like to do because of friendship?
Yeah.
Yes. Don't say that if your friend is sitting here. We'll get an idea. So he went. And the first time he saw Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he knew this is my Guru. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur knew this is my soldier who is going to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And the first meeting, the first instruction was, please distribute this knowledge to the English-speaking world. Now he met his Guru in 1922, but then, of course, he would come and listen to his lectures whenever possible in whichever city. But in 1933, after 11 years, he took initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So that shows us that it is very important, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tad vidhi pranipadena parikrishna sevaya upadeshanti jnanam jnanina sattvadarshina. That we should, Krishna says, just try to approach a bona fide spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. This afternoon program, one gentleman came to me after I finished Prasadam, and he asked me, is it possible to see Krishna? Can we see Krishna? So yes, Prabhupada said I always even talk to Krishna. Prabhupada says when we go to the temple, we see the deities, they're not deities, Krishna is right there. But we don't have the vision to see them. We are not so purified that we can have a conversation with him. He's there, but we cannot see him. But Srila Prabhupada, being a pure devotee, a direct representative sent by Krishna himself. If we see the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, very last page, don't we see his name there in the Parampara? Yes? Your yeses are like, maybe, maybe not. Yes.
Yes.
What number?
33.
Ayyayo. 32.
32.
Number 32 is Srila Prabhupada. Krishna gave this knowledge to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasa. This is a very powerful preaching tool, the Parampara. Whenever we are talking to new people, if we can show them how this knowledge is coming down. So what is the big deal about Parampara? The big deal is that the authenticity of the data is maintained. There are no additions, subtractions, multiplications, or divisions. The knowledge is coming down as it was given by Krishna to Lord Brahma. That's the beauty of Parampara. So in 1933, Srila Prabhupada got connected with the Parampara because he accepted initiation from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So see how it is, 22 met, 33 initiation, 44 he started back to Godhead, the magazine. Before Prabhupada, we didn't even know what's Godhead. And we didn't even know that we can go back to Godhead. And he didn't say to Godhead, he said back to Godhead, which means we were there, we have come here, and then we go back to Godhead. That magazine started, in which Srila Prabhupada would take so much pain, so much trouble to publish articles about Krishna consciousness, articles about how to become self realized, how to come out of the cycle of birth and death. So he showed us with his personal example how we should actually preach. In preaching, we have to undergo a lot of austerities. Do you agree? Is it that you just meet someone and say, Hari Bol, I am so happy to meet you. Come, let's chant together. Has that ever happened? No. Have you met someone who's so super excited? I was waiting for you. Where were you? Give me all the knowledge. I want to soak in all the knowledge and I want to get initiated tomorrow. Have you heard something like that? It's a painstaking process. But that is a very sweet process because Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone who spreads my knowledge is most dear to me. Krishna is very pleased when we distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita or Krishna consciousness to others. That is preaching. Of course, we have to preach according to time, place, and circumstance also. Need to see who the audience is, need to see what are their requirements. Like I give the example, if a first grader is sitting in a class, we cannot talk calculus to them because they won't understand. We have to teach them basic math. 2 plus 2 equals 5. I'm just making sure you all are awake. Then you all should say, no, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Otherwise, if there is no sound, then I know your eyes are open, but actually you are in samadhi. So in 1944, he started the Back to Godhead magazine. And in 1950, he retired from his material life, which means his business and everything. And in 1953, because he is a Sanskrit scholar, a profound Sanskrit scholar, he got the title of Bhakti Vedanta. Then his name was Abhay Charanaravinda Swami Bhaktivedanta, right? Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He got the title of Bhaktivedanta. And that was conferred to him by those great scholars over there in India. So he got that title of Bhaktivedanta. Someone who knows everything about Bhakti, Vedanta, Anta, Vedanta, right? The Sar of Vedas, knows everything. And that's why you all must have noticed, like I have noticed, that whenever we read the purports of Srila Prabhupada, don't we sometimes say, aha. If the purports were not there, we would not understand the translation of the verses. Definitely not. Because he gives so much insight. Why did he take the trouble to give us those purports? So that when we decide to preach, we can take that knowledge from purpose and explain it to others, just like it was explained to us. Yeah. Preaching actually is, you can say it's most dear to Krishna and even to Guru. You see, supposing I am drowning in the ocean, and here comes a boat, and someone, offers the hand, and is there any Gujarati here?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know a story in Gujarati.
Sure, they'll be listening, Mataji.
Okay. So if I'm drowning in the ocean, and there comes a boat, and someone offers their hand to pull me onto the boat, what will be my first reaction? Thank God I'm saved.
Yeah.
But what about those who are drowning right in front of our eyes? Don't you think we should also save them just like we are saved? That is preaching. Just like Srila Prabhupada traveled all over the world to save us, then it behooves us to save other living entities. It could be in our office, business, social circle, relatives. Relatives is very hard to change. You all agree. Very hard. बोलते ना घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर. बिल्कुल very hard to change. Very close relatives. But we have to keep trying. So just like we are saved, son, I just remember that story. There was this miserly person, and he would not. He had a lot of wealth, but he didn't want to spend it or he didn't want to give it to anybody. So for him, apo means give, right? Apo, that word didn't exist for him. You see, if someone was saying, just give me, he would not give anything. So one day he was actually drowning in a river. And there was a passerby who said, Apo, give me your hand. Apo said, Apo, no, I'm not going to, I would rather drown than give my, I never give anything to anybody. So how can I give you my hand? That much foolishness. So Srila Prabhupada taught us how to preach. All his purpose explained to us the basic knowledge of Bhakti Yoga. He also explains, he gave us a whole strong process, which we all do, in the morning, strong morning sadhana, starting at 4:30 in the morning, so that we can prepare ourselves when we go out to preach. Because we need a shield. Maya is very strong. We need a shield to protect ourselves. We are going out there in the open to meet people. We don't know what kind of association we are going to get, so we need to protect ourselves. That is a strong morning program. So after he received this title of Bhaktivedanta, in 1959, he took sannyas. This is actually the fear of the relatives, that when we come to Bhakti and they see, chanting beads and all, they get scared. Oh, you're going to take sannyas. You better slow down. Many times people tell me, you're going too fast. You still have a lot of time. I said, can you guarantee me that I'm going to live 100 years? That I should slow down? So he took sannyas because he knew he had a mission in mind. He had instructions from his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to preach to the Western world. Now, why to the Western world? Because India at that time was very famous in copying the West. The way they eat, what they wear, what they do, the language, etc., etc. So he had to come all the way to the West. So in 1965, he arrived in the US. When we came to the US, you don't have to answer, but just think about it. You can answer if you want. I don't mind hearing. How much money did you bring?
40.
You came with 40 rupees? When you came to the US.
Doctor speaking.
She came with only $100.
My husband came with $5.
Seriously.
He spent it in the plane.
Oh my God. When was this?
40 years ago. $5.
Srila Prabhupada came with 40 rupees in his pocket. And that too, he sold his Bhagavatam to, who is the one who sails the ship? Captain. To the captain, and got that money. He didn't know anybody. When we come, we make sure we have some arrangements. Like when we landed in Louisville, we didn't say, okay, should we look left or should we look right? Where should we go? Should we go to... No, we made arrangements. Prabhu will come, pick us up from the airport, right? What if Prabhu didn't come to the airport? What would we do? She's saying, I don't know.
Call. First thing.
Call? Supposing he doesn't pick up the call.
Nowadays, it's means of communication. Uber,
Yes.
call.
So the idea is to understand how difficult situation it was for Srila Prabhupada. He came in 1965 and he started this Krishna consciousness movement under a tree. How many of us have been to that tree? Isn't it so? It's like you're entering Vaikuntha when you enter that park. And actually, I had gone with my family, and we had a competition. My grandson, my son, and myself, we are running. Who will find the tree first in the park? My grandson, he found the tree. And it said there, I think it says Hare Krishna tree or something, I don't remember, it's been many years. Under that tree, just by sitting down with kartal, no damcham, nothing, no harmonium, nothing at all, nobody listening to him, all by himself, he's sitting under a tree and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare.
How many of us have the courage to do that? Should we go out now and sit under a tree? Each one of us under one tree, not all together, because all together we get some strength and consolation. Someone is there, all by himself. And after 1 year in 1966, he established ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, for our benefit. Because he knew Kali Yuga is degrading. When I passed out from high school, 65% was woohoo, let's celebrate. 65%. Nowadays, 99% is not sufficient. Where is that 1% gone? So Srila Prabhupada, all by himself, started this movement for us because he knew. He actually knows. Why knew? He knows that we will need these books, which are our only source of, you can say, relief, source of happiness, a kind of a savior for us. These books can save us. And he says that these books will be there for next 10,000 years. So he started ISKCON in 1966. He started the Governing Body Commission in 1970. In 1972, he established Bhaktivedanta Book Trust so that there is a systematic distribution of his books. So there is a center, I think it's in Los Angeles, right? BBT is in Los Angeles, from where all these books are printed and published and they are distributed. I heard that how many? 520 million books have already been distributed. I don't know how old is this information, but when he was here, he established 108 temples, and now there are more than 800. More than 800. So we are so fortunate. We're getting everything ready in hand. All we have to do is accept it and distribute it. The more we will distribute, the more Srila Prabhupada and Krishna are going to bless us so that we can distribute more. You see? And then in 1977, he disappeared in Vrindavan. 1977. So actually, Srila Prabhupada, we can say, has given us a treasure house of books. Ladies like to wear diamonds, right? Come on. The husbands know because the ladies ask their husbands, where is my diamond necklace? What am I getting for my birthday?
Here the Matajis have diamonds like their diamond like smile Mataji, so they don't want
Oh, when you did like this, I thought diamond in their teeth. I'm like, to have diamonds in their teeth. But jewelry is a woman's best friend, right? If you're sad, you get diamond ring, you're happy. So when we have all this jewelry, where do we keep it? We are very careful, right? We are very careful of all that treasure that we may have. So these books are a treasure house, and we should somehow or the other um, study them, not just read. So there's a big difference between reading books and studying books. And Prabhupada says that we should read his books scrutinizingly. What does that mean?
Study.
Thoroughly, thoroughly. And this is what I had learned in Vrindavan. One of my god sisters said that when we hear um, a class, maybe on Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, we should discuss it with three other devotees. That same Bhagavatam class discussed with three other devotees, and then it stays in our head. But if we hear and go out and forget about it, we will never remember what we heard. Do you remember how I started the class just now today? Preaching, of course, that's the topic, so we know it's preaching.
Get to know Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Mike was the issue.
Mike was the issue. Yeah, let's go back also. So this treasure house is there for us to study his books scrutinizingly in the association of devotees, and then we can you say we can sharpen our intelligence with this knowledge, so that when we go out to preach, we are powerful enough to explain this knowledge to others. Well, important thing to remember is we should not look for the results. That's where we get dampened, right? Oh, I talked to so many of them and none of them are interested. That's okay, right? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschit mam veti tat. Krishna himself is saying, out of thousands, one will try for perfection. And out of thousands who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows Krishna in truth. So we should not get disheartened. And to do powerful preaching, it is very important to read the books. Because, say, I'm distributing Bhagavad Gita on Fridays sometimes. Now I don't go that regularly. But my sister goes on Fridays with Srila Prabhupada's disciple Balabhadra Prabhu to distribute books, Harinam, and downtown. And when we go there to distribute books, what is our goal? To make a list of how many books we distributed? No. How many souls we touched? And it starts with our outlook to life. Do you agree? Right? If we are happy, say supposing I'm frowning and I'm telling someone, here's this beautiful book, it shows you how to be happy. First thing is, you are frowning and you're giving me a book which will tell me how to be happy? No. To be able to become powerful preachers, we need to perform austerity. If you remember Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter, talks about austerity of body, austerity of mind, austerity of speech. So when we start performing that austerity, then when we go on book distribution, then we may or may not be able to distribute books, but we will touch the hearts of the people. Have you come across somebody who is not interested in bhakti or about Krishna, but is very happy to talk to you? Have you met someone? Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Because they feel a connection. This is how we start. We start with that building of relationship. Because here preaching is not a mechanical process, that like in machine you put this and this comes out. No, it's nothing mechanical. It's something to do with the heart. And the heart is reflected on our face. Don't they say face is the mirror of the mind? Yes? So what's in the heart, what's in the mind is reflected on the face. And people are not, they are intelligent enough to read the face. So book distribution is very, very, I remember in Mayapur I had heard one seminar by a big book distributor who was giving, he was talking about all the instances that happened during his book distribution time. And he said he used to go from door to door. This is in India. He would go, I'm not sure if it was in India, probably in Europe. He would go door to door, knocking and begging them to take up Krishna consciousness. So he said one day he went to a door and he kept knocking, but no one opened the door. But something within his heart told him, just keep knocking. Now that could be irritating, right? If you don't want to open the door, you should get a signal that I don't want to open, so don't keep knocking. But he kept knocking. And an old frail lady came out and opened the door finally, and she looked very sad. And here this Prabhu said, I've just come to give you a free book this book is about how to be happy. And she just took the book and said, oh, whatever. And she banged the door close. So he left. After a few days, after a week, he was distributing books in the parking lot. In those days, it was allowed. I don't think they allow it now, right? Do they allow distribution in parking lot? Like you go to a Walmart parking lot and can you distribute books? I know in Atlanta we can do. Really? If you want to? You're courageous. So this lady stopped him, said, hello, hello, hello. He said, yes, how can I help you? You don't remember me? He said, he meets so many people every day. He's distributing so many books. And then he said, oh, yes, yeah, I remember you were not opening the door and finally you opened the door. She said, you are God sent. She told him, you're sent by God. Why? What happened? She said that when you were knocking on the door, I was climbing on the chair to hang myself from the ceiling fan. I was trying to commit suicide and you disturbed me. And out of frustration, I said, okay, let me open the door to one last person and then I'm going to kill myself. And when you gave me the book, and I was really not in a good frame of mind, and I wanted to die as soon as possible because I was fed up of this life, so many misery, so much trouble. I just wanted to end it. And then I thought, well, anyway, I'm going to die. Let me just read this book, one page. And when she started reading, she couldn't stop. She read the whole, it was a small book. Srila Prabhupada's small book. You know how many small books he has? He has given us, right? Easy Journey to Other Planets, The Higher Taste, Beyond Birth and Death. We can name so many of them. I'm sure you have there on your bookshelf. And by the time she finished the book, she realized the purpose of human form of life. And she changed her mind and started following the process of Krishna consciousness. Imagine if that devotee did not go and knock on the door, she would have been dead. So preaching, that is why preaching is so dear to Srila Prabhupada and to Lord Krishna. He is most pleased. But we need to learn the art of preaching. As Prabhupada says, Desha Kala Patra, according to time, place, and circumstance, we should preach. But to be able to become powerful preachers, we need to perform austerities as I was talking about. Now, the austerities that are given in the Bhagavad Gita 17th chapter, Krishna says austerity of the body is that we should worship Him, worship the Supreme Lord, worship the Brahmanas, Worship the elders. Very, very important. We know, especially the youth nowadays. Now, in my days, I know we couldn't even look at our father eye to eye because we were, so respectful. Like in those days, we are talking about those days, like those days.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, You all are young now, so now, of course, it is different. And younger than you is still more different, right? Nowadays, children, they don't think twice before arguing. We could not even look into his eyes out of respect. So, the austerity of the body is to worship even the elders, like our parents, grandparents, or whoever it is, brahmanas, worship spiritual master, keep the body clean. That is the austerity of the body. And also lead a very simple life. Simple living, high thinking. In the US, high living, no thinking. Forget simply thinking, no thinking. That's most of the people, right? How many people live in Cincinnati? Hundreds, thousands,
Yeah, and the greater Cincinnati is about more than 2 million.
2 million,
Yeah, the greater Cincinnati area. Cincinnati city itself about 300,000.
300,000. How many are in this room?
Chosen few.
Chosen few, yes, the fortunate ones, the very fortunate ones. Because of our past piety, we have got this opportunity to hear about Srila Prabhupada and Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Yes, we are those fortunate ones. But now we have a choice. What do we do next? Do we take it up seriously? Or we'll say, whatever, maybe next life. But we don't know if we'll have a human form in the next life. Even if we do get a human form, there's no guarantee someone will give us a Bhagavad Gita as it is. Even if someone gives us that book, there's no guarantee we'll take it out. It may lie on our shelf and collect dust. Many times when I go to people whom I have given Bhagavad Gita and I say, oh, where's your Bhagavad Gita? And they come, they remove the dust from that and show. But it wasn't even touched. So now that we have this opportunity, we should take it up very seriously. And austerity of the body is to lead a simple life. Then he talks about austerity of the speech. How many of us like to speak? No, wrong question. How many of us don't like to speak? We don't find anybody. And especially women, they talk a lot. And men
We
are
have to
laughing.
listen.
You have to listen, exactly. Yes. Non-stop. Chappar, 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 chappar. The mouth keeps running. And fortunate for us, we talk about Krishna, which is good. Right? So austerity of speech, Krishna tells Arjuna, is one should be always truthful, be honest, and also present the truth in a very pleasing manner so that we do not agitate the minds of others. Maybe the mothers-in-law should hear this, right? Then there will be no jagda between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law.